All right, good morning, everyone. The Lord be with you.
And also with you.
It is an honor this morning to introduce to us all Dr. Paula Azevedo. Paula. So great to have you here. Dr. Azevedo brings with her a robust set of experiences, and her career proves that she loves working with others no matter their age. Collaborations with the National Center for Teacher Effectiveness Project, Best Foot Forward Project, the Education Northwest Project, and the National Park Service can all attest to that. Dr. Azevedo is a highly respected mindfulness teacher and is an absolute blessing to the Marymount University community, where she currently teaches as Professor and Director of Education Clinical Experiences. Our class today focuses on artificial intelligence, also known as AI. And I personally am looking so forward to taking very good notes. I have a unique relationship with AI. I have enjoyed writing songs with my children using AI songwriting programs online. They're actually amazing. They do a great job. But I'm also a little unnerved at how often the Google AI assistant gives me absolutely nothing related to what I am searching for. Perhaps that's just me, but I'm seeing a lot of nodding. And so, friends, this is going to be a great class. Thrilled we're all together. Let us pray. God of wisdom, God of redemption, enlighten us today so that we might better be your people and further cultivate your glory. Amen.
Amen.
Dearly beloved, Dr. Paula Azevedo.
Thank you so much for that welcome and that introduction. I am really honored to be here today with you all. And you might be wondering, gosh, a mindfulness teacher, a K-12 educator, teacher educator, what is she doing with AI? And well, it's an emerging technology, and it's one that I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon unless something catastrophic happens. And so I want to make sure that in preparing our future teachers, our future leaders, that we, use AI in an appropriate way, and that we engage in it with our children in a way that will elevate us to a common good. And so the title of this presentation is Wisdom in the Age of AI, Stewardship, Stewarding Technology for the Common Good. And so I hope that today we leave with a little bit more knowledge, not only about AI. You're not going to leave here becoming an expert on AI, but you will have hopefully a little bit of an understanding of where, what it does, what it cannot do, and how you can think of ways to use it to benefit, again, all of us, not just certain types of people, but to ensure that we spread the wealth that AI can provide us across the way. So we're going to talk about what is AI, what can AI do, what are its values? Does AI have values? That's a deep philosophical question we can engage in today. We'll play around with some case studies, some real world case studies, and think about the values that AI can help us with and maybe not, and then how we can ensure that our values aren't compromised in any way when we use AI. So does that sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Ready? All right. I always love embedding quotes from really much smarter people. And so I am going to start off with Stephen Hawking, right? Who else better than Stephen Hawking to kind of lead us in this conversation? And so he said that the development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race. It would take off on its own and redesign itself at ever increasing rate. Humans who are limited by slow biological evolution couldn't compete and would be superseded. So, okay, pretty smart guy, doom and gloom about AI. And then on the other hand, we have Fei Li, who is known as the godmother of artificial intelligence. She's a professor at Stanford University. She has a much, kind of rainbow sunshine kind of way of seeing it, that artificial intelligence is not a substitute for human intelligence. It is a tool to amplify human creativity and ingenuity. So I'm gonna ask you, where do you lie? Are you on the cyberpunk dystopia side of things, or do you see this as an opportunity? And it's a spectrum, right? So think about where you are. Are you cyberpunk dystopia, or on the opportunity side of it? More on Stephen Hawking or Fei Li? And if I were to be honest, I would, it fluctuates day by day, honestly, for me, depending on the news, right? So there's days that I'm more opportunistic about it and see, yes, this can do so much good. And then there are days that I just, wow, doom and gloom. I'm definitely going to be on the dystopia side of it. But in reality, I'm kind of in the middle, right? I'm trying to keep a level head on where AI is, what it can really do, what it still cannot do, and its potential. And I hope to maybe alleviate some fears, but also, illuminate some concerns that you may not have considered. So how many of you have used AI in the last 24 hours?
How would we know?
Very good. Good question. Good question.
Does like Google now, the top part is AI. So if that counts,
Exactly.
I grilled last night, so I needed to know how to do that. And so AI helped me with my grilling.
Okay, perfect. That's a great example. So yeah, our Google searches are now really, AI. They are pushing their Gemini model for sure. It's the top thing you see in your Google search these days. Do you have comments?
Your first bullet up there says, what is AI? I don't know what AI is. What is it?
Yeah, okay, perfect question. Can we play a game first?
I don't care.
Okay.
It's a yes, that's a no.
I just want to know what it is.
I think this game might help. All right. So let's play a game. All right, AI or not AI. All right, that's our game. So you can stay seated, you can stand up, you can raise your hand if you don't want to stand up. That's totally fine. I just thought we'd get a little movement this morning. And so with Siri, when you say, "Hey Siri," is that AI or not AI?
I'd say so.
It's AI.
Oh, AI.
Right. All right. Perfect. That is AI. Okay. Next, our old-fashioned alarm clock.
No.
Not AI. All right. Very good. We're off on a roll. All right. Good job, guys. When we filter, when our email system filters spam, does that system use AI or not?
No.
I think it does.
Okay, we kind of split on this one. It does use AI, yes. Okay, so your spam filter uses AI.
Yeah. Right.
How about your Spotify recommendation list? Those of you who use Spotify or Netflix, YouTube, AI or not AI?
Algorithms.
Oh. Okay, they're getting really smart. They're learning from your choices. Right? All right, Sonnet 8. This might be a little tricky.
Like, you mean, are these words generated by an AI?
Was this sonnet generated by AI or our good old friend William Shakespeare?
Oh, yeah, that's what it was.
Okay, music to hear. Why hearest thou music sadly? Sweets with sweet or not. Joy, delights, and joy. Well, this one was actually Shakespeare. All right, but it could have been AI because it can mimic William Shakespeare. All right. Hopefully this.
I'm here with Dr. Chen, who recently completed native flight. Dr. Chen, I want to dig into.
Sorry if this isn't.
A lot of researchers struggle. How do you decide which measurement tools to actually include in your study?
Oh, that's such a great question. And honestly, it's something I've gotten better at through trial and error.
Yeah.
Okay,
Can't really hear that.
Yeah, it's because we've got the
She's on stage.
speaker set up. Right.
sure what's happening with the echoing here. Let me make sure my Zoom stayed. I'm still muted. There we go. All right, sorry about that. So yeah, that one is actually AI. Okay. Yeah, you can still, sometimes it's still very tinny, the voice, it's like a little, you can hear the tin. How about this one? There's music that's just fading up.
Sure.
We're all just like, yes, everything is AI. Cannot believe anything we see, even, humans on a video, human voices. All right. And this one, AI or not. It's my adorable dog named
Oh,
Susie.
okay, nice.
All right. So, all right, let me ask you this question again. Would you change your answer? Maybe, yeah. You're realizing, oh, okay, I have been, and this goes back to originally, Google, your Google searches. You think you're just, searching something like you used to maybe a few years ago and not realizing that AI is behind the system. Okay, so to go back to your question.
Right.
Okay. So artificial intelligence is a technology that enables us to perform tasks that typically only humans would be able to do, right? But it does it in a way that can take a lot more data, right? And way faster than our biological human brains can compute, right? So it can make, it can understand language, the spoken language, written language. It can recognize images. So anytime, I don't know if, any of you have enabled your phone to like recognize your face. That's all AI stuff behind it, okay? It can problem solve. It can do math problems and it's gotten better at it. It can code, like do computer coding for us. And so basically it's any computer system that can do, and I'm going to show actually it in a minute, a diagram that really helps us digest what AI is, because AI is just this big nebulous kind of thing. And we're just like, not sure, is ChatGPT an AI? Is, again, the Spotify an AI? Like, what is really an AI? Okay, so we are going to definitely drill down into that in a minute. But I just wanted to show you some ways that I've been using it very consciously, right? In my world of education. And so everything from creating and telling stories. So using it with our children, and we at Marymount have a preschool on campus, and I've had the opportunity the past couple of summers to work with 4-year-olds, which has been fun. And one of the things that I like to engage with them is creative storytelling. And we do it in the traditional way, which is, pen and paper or markers and whatever they have at hand, and drawing things out and sharing the stories out loud and just going wild and crazy with it. And then also using AI to help them, enhance their stories. So I just want to share with you one, hopefully this will share. Yes, perfect. So this is an example of one story. This is an AI system called Kid Genie. And this is from a couple of summers ago. A child started tell her story, and the preschool teacher and I would put it into this AI system, and the AI system would make, how kids are, right? Like, they'll tell a story, they'll go around in circles. It just doesn't always make perfect sense. But this AI system helped make it into a logical story. And so her story about this fairy princess turned into this little short story. Now, the cool thing about this AI system for kids is that it does have barriers, so it's very child friendly. So it's not going to go off the rails. So don't be scared. It goes by age level. So since these are 4-year-olds, it was still very 4-year-old focused, so that it wasn't a very long story. It was very short and compact. It gives a nice, beautiful picture, which was always the kids' favorite part, is seeing what is it going to generate? What's my picture going to be? And they always say, yes, that's exactly how I imagined it. And then, which is adorable, or the more feistier children will fight with it and say, no, that's absolutely not how I wanted it. And those are my favorite kids to work with, by the way, the ones that fight with the AI. And then it actually generates a voice. And so I would play it, but I know if I play it, it's going to echo. But just know that it will actually, tell the story out loud. Again, very kid friendly. All right, back to presentation. Let's see if I can get.
Could I ask a question about that?
Absolutely, yes.
Developmentally for 4-year-olds, they
Sure.
tell their story. Do they learn from this that their story was never good enough?
No, that was not my finding at all.
Hmm.
If anything, what happened was the kids got so excited about it that every day they would run up to the teacher or to me and say, when am I going to tell my story again? I want to continue my story. And I had actually 2 of the 16 children create, and these are 4-year-olds, create chapter books. 4-year-olds creating chapter books.
What was the tool called again?
Kidgenie.
Kid Genie, one word.
Yes,
Thank you.
KIDGENI. So it actually really got them excited about it. And the kids that were not really interested in, literacy started to became more interested in it because they could see their story emerge immediately and in this really fantastical way. And they started using words that they typically would not use in their everyday language, but also in the stories that they were now telling, which is pretty cool. So we did both. It wasn't just always AI. They also created stories the traditional way as 4-year-olds would, drawing and things like that. And, playing with letters, and it was all play-based. We just took that approach of we're just having fun, which is, that's what creative storytelling is. Great question. Yeah, I hope that answered it.
Thank you.
So yes, so that was one way. Is there another question?
Have we lost the opportunity to choose?
That's a good question. That's one we're all grappling with. And that's something that I actually would love to grapple with you all today about.
Have you encountered AI doing things that you didn't ask it to?
Yes.
Every day.
All the time. It summarizes emails. It's so annoying.
Yeah, I find it has invaded spaces that I'd rather it not correct. So we're on Zoom right now. And Zoom now, there's an AI that, it's hard to actually, it's hard to turn off sometimes. You have to really work at it. And it will generate and summarize those meeting notes. It will tell you what the highlights of the meeting were, which I find very annoying sometimes, because I'm that's not a highlight. What are you talking about? And it actually will perpetuate bias. So I have a former student, now colleague. Her name is Christine, but she goes by Chris. And the AI generated notes refer to her as him. And she was like, wait, what? What just happened? Like, did it not recognize my female voice? She has a very feminine voice. You know, it's just, she just likes to just shorten it by Chris, that's it. But definitely is female. So she was a little annoyed by that. Right, rightfully so. And it got us thinking about these really deep questions. The other thing is that sometimes, and it's not just Zoom, there are actually far more deceptive, yeah, that's a good word, deceptive AI systems, like Parrot AI, those kind of meeting assistants that you see, that maybe you saw. Otter's another good example. You kind of just see like so-and-so's robot or so-and-so's bot is here, right? But you know, like Abby's not here, but her bot's here.
Yeah.
It's super weird. And so Abby's bot is taking notes for her. It is transcribing everything. It actually records the video and the audio. And now she has all of the human has all of that information. And not only that, this is where it becomes very, can become even more dangerous, is that everybody who was invited to that meeting now has access to the video recording, the audio recording, the transcripts, the highlights, the notes, everything that happened at that meeting. And you get, as someone who was invited, you get the email and saying, hey, we did something really great for you. You don't have to think about anything. Even though you went to the meeting, here's everything that you may have missed. And so, you know, the conversations that we used to think were private are no longer private. Okay. And it becomes very interesting when you want to have, you know, a private conversation with a colleague, with a group of people. We ran into this issue at a meeting just the other day with our faculty, where we're just like, how do we turn off the transcription? Right? It's, you know, we just want to have an open conversation without people fearing, you know, this kind of going out. And yeah, I don't know if we can turn back time, right? Like, I think this is it. And so now you have to make choices of like, well, which AIs am I going to trust? What companies am I going to trust? Or maybe I trust none of them and I just don't invite any of these bots into my meetings. But again, it's a little challenging to do that because, you know, we're on Zoom right now and we want to make sure it's accessible to a lot of people, right? Yeah.
What happens to the 4-year-old child who's given the story with AI, and then the next day you say, it's gone, you create your own? What happens to their mind? I mean, do they say, I can't think now because it was free yesterday, now I have to create my own?
That's not what I found. So we were doing both at the same time. And it honestly, you know, it was not, we're only using AI to create stories. If anything, it kind of helped them, you know, continue their stories in the real world, in this world. Yeah. Now, that's a good question though. Like if we just give them the tool and say, go at it, this is all you have now, and then we take it away. Yeah, I think that might be, that's a real danger of it for sure. And it's not just for the 4-year-old child. I mean, it's for us as adults too. Right. I was again having a conversation with a colleague and she was asking me, you know, how often I use AI. I'm like, yeah, pretty much daily now. I mean, honestly, it's like consciously using it. Right. And she said, yeah, I'm really grappling with this. Like I'm having it think for me now. And yeah, there's truth to that. There was an email I had to send to a student and my initial reaction was like, frustration, right? and I started typing the email, and it was clearly, my tone was very frustrated. And I was like, I can't, and basically what I did was like, I can't deal with this right now. And I took what I originally wrote, put it into, I like Claude, so I put it into Claude. And I said, and I just told Claude, fix it. And Claude actually knew what I meant because I do this often. Like it knows I get very frustrated sometimes in email. And so it was like, okay. And it produced this beautiful email, and it explained to me what it did. It said, I toned it down for you. Like, thank you. So I didn't have to think about it. Now it saved me time because I just didn't want to spend time thinking about this issue. And it was a choice I made though, right? It was a choice I made. And it's a choice that I'm seeing, it's like an easy way out to just avoid dealing with the hard feelings of frustration.
Did you tell Claude to tone it down?
No, I just said, fix it.
Okay.
I literally just said, fix it. And it was like, it kind of knew me enough to know, oh, we need to tone this down. I didn't even say, I may have mentioned that this was to a student. Yeah, like this is to a student. I need this. Just fix it. Comment.
I'm
and then I'll-
really concerned about AI for children.
Yep.
So much of what I get in AI is slanted.
Yep.
Filtered.
Yep.
To one particular view.
Yep.
And children will get amazed at what they can find.
Yep.
And won't realize how their mind is being shaped the way the AI wants it to. Which is probably not what you want that to be.
Yeah, so it takes us now to, I mean, this is the heart of my my talk today is the values, right? What values do you want your AI to have? And so we really need to think deeply about the values that these companies have that are building these AI systems, and if they're the values that we share. And that's where our choices can start becoming a little bit more powerful, right? Not every AI company is the same, right? And so digging a little bit deeper on who the CEOs are and who they hire, what values they are portraying. Now, they can portray one thing and it actually be a totally different, it's an illusion, right? They want to just portray themselves as one way. That's always a danger. But this is where we can put our money where we trust certain companies over others. And if we don't trust any of them, then don't subscribe to any of these AI systems for sure.
But it's everywhere.
But
How
it's
can you
everywhere.
avoid it?
Right. So I would say you still have a choice. You can ignore what the algorithm is feeding you and make your own choice. Always. I think that's always still a viable choice at this point. We're still in control of us, our personal choice. You don't think so? Okay, perfect. Go ahead.
Is there any requirement that government agencies or corporations or users of the telephone networks or other networks inform its users that they are involved with a bot?
It's a good question. Not that I am aware of.
Well, then we are really in a hopeless state. Is it correct that AI works at 3 trillion bytes per second?
I don't know the exact number, but that would not surprise me.
I don't know if anybody in here
But it does consume
can
a lot
wrap
of
their head
energy.
around what it means
Right.
to have something working at 3 trillion bytes per second.
I personally can't. It is beyond our comprehension, I think.
Well, then we're turning something loose
Sure,
that is beyond our comprehension.
absolutely.
And and it does things that we don't ask it to do.
You think this is gonna replace the teachers?
So.
Or
Or the
schools,
pastors?
Or colleges?
The pastors. I mean, it can replace what we want it to replace. Now, do you want, and again, this goes back to our values as individuals, as communities, right? So,
Excuse me,
Sure.
I don't understand what you just said.
Right.
If we don't know what it's doing, how can we say that it will replace what we want it to replace? It will replace whatever it feels like replacing.
no, I don't think the AI okay, so let's step back and recognize what AI can and cannot do. AI is not conscious.
It's not what?
Conscious.
Well, we
It is
know
not
that,
aware.
we know that it does do things that it's not asked to do, and nobody knows why that happens.
Correct. So I think, but it is predicting what we want or what it thinks we want. It is a prediction machine.
But we aren't telling it what we want.
It's right,
It's deciding what we want
sure.
based on what we do tell it.
Sometimes it's the way you word it. It's not your command, right? Your ask. And it does learn from you. So it's going to assume, like for my example, for example, saying fix this email, it knew like I have frequently asked that, and it's usually because I want it to be toned down a little bit or have a different tone.
But it's learning from us in a way that we are not defining, and that
Correct.
it is defining at a speed of 3 trillion bytes per second.
Yes.
That sounds to me like a system out of control.
It is, but I would say the words you're using is a conscious choice on your part. A conscious choice on your part. The words you are using, the commands you are using, what you are using it for is on your part a conscious choice. I think, maybe.
We don't necessarily know what it thinks we're telling it.
I was just gonna say, we as consumers may not know, but somebody knows. I mean, there are
Sure.
companies that build these in ways that they will do the things that the company wants them to do. And I guess the company hopes that those are the things that we as consumers.
There's hope in there. I heard the hope.
There is some hope in there still. So I'm interested in maybe hearing more about, you said you like Claude. Is that because of something Claude does, or because
Sure.
you know what the company who built Claude is trying to do, and that is what you are looking for?
Yeah, so I prefer Claude for several reasons. One, it is the values that it is portraying, right? Again, I only know what these companies are saying that they're putting out and what I am seeing. So they are for an AI that is safe, and they are working towards an AI that is, takes privacy very seriously. So, and that was from the very beginning that they have been promoting and building their AI system to do that. It also, and I also find that system is smarter. It does the things that I prefer it to do. And so it's for the work that I do on the more intelligent side, in terms of language, the use of language, those kinds of things. Where ChatGPT, I still use it. I use all of them, or not all of them, but many of them, just so I'm up to date of what they can do. But yeah, the ChatGPT, for what I need, it's sometimes too simplistic. It gives me too much of a simple answer. And quite frankly, I don't know how much I trust OpenAI at this point with what they want to do. But that's just me, my understanding of what these companies these two companies are doing. I don't know if I answered your whole question, but okay.
I've never heard of Claude, frankly. I quit work about 5 years ago, but if you're working like for the government and you're working on a classified system, you're not going to be able to get access.
No,
to
of course not, no.
But there's two things that we used to do a lot. You write these emails, whether it's on a class or classified system. And what we used to do all the time in the office was either I would just walk away,
Sure,
come back about an hour later and read it again,
Sure.
or I have a colleague read it.
Mhm.
And then if you're really worried that somebody in one of the security agencies or something is going to get your emails and use it in a court case, then you just pick up the phone and say, or you send an email and you say, call me, and you solve it that way. So you just use your brain.
100%.
And when chat or whatever it is, ChatGPT or Claude rewrites the thing for you, you don't have to push the button send, you know.
Yeah.
You use your brain.
And I actually, exactly, right? And it was my choice. I didn't tell Claude to, I told Claude to do it, right? Claude didn't do it just freely-nilly, right? It just, I asked it because I didn't want to spend an hour ruminating on
Right,
this.
or if you're working from home.
Right, it
and
wasn't
you-
worth my time.
You might work from home, you don't have a colleague to read it.
100%,
You know, your spouse is not around to read it and say, my God, what are you doing?
right. All of those things, absolutely, yeah. So, and that's what I'm saying, it was my choice in that case. Now, I understand, like, for example, YouTube, Netflix, Spotify, the AI system, the algorithms behind it. Yeah, those are not my choices, but it's learning from the choices that I'm making, right? When I skip a song on Spotify, it recognizes, oh, this type or this artist or this type of song she doesn't really like. I'm not going to keep on bothering her with these types of songs, right? But it also starts to limit the type of music that I'm hearing, right? The discovery, the opportunity to discover a new artist, potentially. Mhm.
When you're dealing with something that works at the speed of light, how can you know that what you think you told it is what it heard? And that what you've asked it to do is what it hears you asking it to do.
It comes
Judge,
back
I'm
to
hearing
you. It comes back to
a
you.
continuity of control or not control and speed. I wonder if, are you gonna touch on some of these in the rest of the lecture, like value, you said the values and the.
Yeah,
Well, I'm not talking about values. She says we have a choice.
Yeah.
And we can choose to do something or not choose to do it. But when we decide what we want to choose, we're telling it something that we think we have in our head, but we don't really know what it is hearing when you tell it.
Why don't we keep going and see where she goes? Let's see what happens.
I mean,
Can do.
let me just explain what it can do.
Yeah.
Okay, and maybe this will alleviate some of that. I don't know, maybe. We'll see.
I'm hearing an I don't know answer.
Um,
I don't know what
Maybe.
you're hearing as a question, but I'm hearing an I don't know answer.
yeah, I think honestly, anyone that says they know is lying to you. Anyone that says they know the answers to your questions or anyone's questions here is lying to you.
Right.
And so I'm being honest and saying, yeah, right. I don't know the answers to these very, not only technological questions, right? Because part of your question is technological, but it is also philosophical. It's also values-based. It's human dignity. It's about humanity. It's about these bigger questions that we're all still grappling with or without AI, by the way. AI, to me, is actually a mirror. It reflects back to us, whether we want it or not. How does that sit?
That's a good point. I agree with it.
Right? So that's what I'm trying to say is that the companies, the choices we make of which companies we will throw our money to, it's a choice that we're all making. At some point, yeah, you're right. Maybe it will no longer be a choice. I don't think we're there yet. I think we're at a critical point, right? Where it could pivot one way or the other.
Or in 100,000 ways.
100%. Sure. We can all be in our own silos, plugged into the matrix that we want to be plugged into. Absolutely. One could argue we're already there. Without even AI. The conversation of AI. Hold on, let me get back to what it can do. So AI it's a pattern recognition, right? That's what it does. That's what I was talking about in terms of predicting our choices, right? It recognizes patterns that we make, and it takes all of this data and it can spit out what it thinks we want. Okay. It's a natural language process. It can do natural language processing, both in voice and written word. It also can automate repetitive tasks. So things like emails, taking large sources of data, so on and so forth. What it can't do is truly understand. Okay, it cannot comprehend like we do. It's just doing statistical analysis. That's what it's doing. It can mimic. It's a great parrot. Okay, it can mimic us very well, and it's very convincing at it. It cannot make moral judgments. Okay, it cannot make moral judgments, does not understand, it does not have consciousness. It also can't handle novel situations, right? So if it has never encountered a situation that we have fed it, and when I say we, I mean like, the humans building these bots, these AIs, it has trained these bots on, billions of data points, right? Think of the entire internet and books, and so it knows our history to this point, but introduce something new into it that it has never encountered in the history of humanity, it does not know what to do with it. Okay. It cannot feel, it cannot experience, right? At this point, and it cannot and must not take responsibility. We are still the drivers of this. So this is where choice comes in, right? We can trust the AI and what it gave us or not. Okay. So do the values we build into the AI system matter?
Yes.
Yeah, I would say so, right? AI is not only AI, but I would say most technology is not neutral. And I think LinkedIn's co-founder, Reid Hoffman, said it really well, which is AI will not destroy us. it will, however, expose who we truly are. And this is the mirror I'm talking about, right? Like this is, it'll show us. And maybe what we're seeing, we don't like. And that speaks more about us than the AI. Maybe. So values are, you know, something that we, they're beliefs that we hold, right? And they basically drive our decisions. And that's why I keep going back to values. And making the case that we can still make conscious decisions about the way we use AI and whatever it spits out, whatever it generates, whether we use it or not. Okay. And so Susie Welch, a professor and a researcher about values, talks about values as our choices about how you want to live, who you want to be, what you want your life to look like. There are no good or bad values as long as it doesn't hurt anybody, of course, right? But at the end of the day, values are your choice. What your values are your choice. So AI learns our priorities, our biases, our assumptions, our values at the end of the day. AI is learning this. And so how AI learns our values is through what we choose to measure, so the metrics we use, what we decide, and the voices we decide to include in the AI learning algorithms, and what we ask it to optimize for us, right? What we ask it to optimize for us. So think about these real world cases. Okay, and I actually have some here, and maybe we can play with it today, all right? So AI is being implemented in healthcare, in schools, in our criminal justice system, in hiring, the HR world, and in our communities. I mean, Nova is a great example of it, right? So I'm going to give each table a very short little case study. And what I'd like you to do, and those of you who are at home, you have this QR code. So if you want to scan it, that'd be totally great. And you can see it in that QR code, you'll see those real world cases that I'm talking about. And here are the questions that I'd like you to consider. What are the promises? And how could we help people? So what are the promises that AI can give us in these cases? But also, what are the perils? What are the challenges that the AI system, in this case, whatever case you get, could challenge us with? Whose voices are essential to make sure that the AI system meets their needs? And what values are we prioritizing? All right. Okay, so I'll give you guys education. I'll give you all community infrastructure, hiring, criminal justice, and we'll do healthcare. What are you gonna ask? All right.
You're gonna say, I think as of two, you're gonna need the healthcare AI. It's true. We're not careful.
My first reaction was
Drive out to work in Loudon County.
always trying to figure out where, who's gonna,
Route 50.
who's gonna sit us, and all this. And so. you know,
I
I
gotta
got
do something out there.
I was just saying, I could do that with West Fox. And I could do that with
With somebody's sister, we are driving, but we're driving with our husbands.
Right, like, you know, if the three of us are making those judgments.
Because we don't know
And AI is
where,
a person,
where we
same
are
judgments
at.
at the time.
You know,
So you must get like.
We know what we think we're
If you're a teenager fan.
but we don't know what
Get
it
whatever
thinks
is
we're
the
at.
buy.
And it's thinking things different at the speed of light.
You're not bringing anything, you're not having anything else out.
They can do a lot of good things with it.
So like. Yeah. Or, you know, it's like, give it, have an AI.
I don't have a problem, I just need to take it.
Other members of the public who are on camera did wrong. So, you know, so I said before, like, we don't know as consumers what's going on.
Because they all have air
We
conditioning.
need to know what.
I know, I just, very time, she has to get all the
Whether it's.
things, and she can't write.
Yes, I don't see it.
No, I work in the and so in order to create communications, tools that write faster than, you know, and writing that's not really strong. So I noticed, she didn't tell me to switch, but I noticed is the way the documents, I had it.
It's just air conditioning.
It was noticed, it was noticed. So I would say that, I think the parents kind of don't.
Well, I have some concerns about, you know, whether police are maybe wisely, but I know they told me within a second. They'll probably focus on
They can do things
but like
in a week.
the AI, it takes 100 hours. You don't have that. And the benefits. When you're worried about the uses, there's a benefit to like. It's required, the effort that is required. The AI takes away that.
But that's not all. There are some very good settings. Because we don't know really what we're telling this. We know what the thoughts are, but it thinks a lot faster than we do. I started. I've got that long before AI came.
It's gonna be.
I'm familiar with this subject. Great stuff.
I don't.
Just getting done.
I imagine that they're probably, kind of like to your point about your son. They're taking the data, testing data to optimize the results based on monitor. Because it is able to process the data.
Two things.
We need to know.
I read,
This is cool.
I read a really.
That's why I keep saying, if you ever watched the movie Terminator, I mean, that's exactly the premise.
All right.
Exactly the premise. Exactly.
Okay.
That's something.
So I'm seeing that we're starting to, only like 5 minutes. So, some of the real world cases, what are some of the promises that we saw potentially in some of your cases? Anyone want to share?
On healthcare,
Healthcare, what are some promises?
more creative analysis.
Yep.
Better forecasts.
Yep.
And perhaps better medicine, if you believe it.
Anyone else? Any other promises from these organizations or fields?
The actual data centers themselves promise us that electricity will be more expensive and less available, that water is going to be less available, and that our land is going to be, instead of forests, it will be huge warehouses that don't have any solar panels on their roofs, which they should have.
100%. So more perils than the promise, but
That's all I saw in here was peril. I'm sorry.
I would agree. I don't disagree with that. Yeah, and I live in Loudoun County, and so I am very much in the midst of all of that. And see it every single day. I leave my little cul-de-sac, and yeah, so definitely some environmental issues there. Yes.
I'd just like to add a footnote
Sure.
to what has been said back here about the medical aspects of it. And my son-in-law is involved in that.
Perfect.
And it's amazing. The speed, the thing you didn't mention was speed.
Yep.
These things can now be done in terms of diagnostic and treatment alternatives that can be evaluated at the speed of light. And I mean, and the results come out in weeks instead of years,
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, yes, and
but we don't know what else is happening.
there'll always be a little bit of a mystery. A bit of a mystery. Anyone else, any challenges for any of the fields that you looked at? Definitely heard about the environmental concerns, of course, and that is very true. So some of the challenges could also be, again, our own human biases. Remember, the AI system is learning from us. And, whatever bias we may have, it will definitely, embed it into its decisions, okay? So,
Well, when you say we, you mean everybody, not just we in this room.
oh, yeah,
Or
I
we
mean,
individually,
humanity.
but millions of people who are inputting, and it's pulling things out of not just the best people, but the worst people
Yep.
you can imagine.
Absolutely. It has learned all of it. Yes. Agreed. So, I'm gonna leave with you all, some, if you wanna just play with this at home, and think about it later on. There's a couple of exercises regarding, values, and I know this group, you know your values very well, right? I'm gonna just assume that. But it's always fun to just revisit your values and see, has it changed? Has it,
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
do you have another one?
Yeah, we did.
So, and I'll leave a whole bunch, yeah, I think we'll just leave all these here. Because again, I think, and, sorry, I didn't catch your name, I'm sorry, I didn't, yeah, Bruce. Bruce and I were having a really interesting conversation about, is the framing of this as in terms of it being an individual choice, the correct framing, right? Is it really based on our values and our choices and using AI and how we use it? Or is it about institutions, right? And the institutions that are making these decisions on our behalf? And what are the repercussions of that? And I don't have the answers to any of this, right? I'm having these conversations alongside everyone else. But the way I would like to at least leave this conversation is for us to think about ourselves as individuals within these institutions, right? And that many of us are leaders in these institutions, in healthcare, in education, in the justice system, in our communities. And so what role can we take? Where can we at the table say, this goes beyond my values. This does not meet my values, this community's values. Let's return to it and make a different choice. You can always override the AI. You don't have to do what it tells you to do. Right? You can make that choice. And if it's asking you or telling you something that you're like, this doesn't sound right, good. Dig deeper, ask questions, go beyond it. It's healthy not to trust it. I see time and I know everyone has to run, but thank you so much. I'd
Thank you.
love to hear more from you.